What's up, wave makers? It's Mommy Tsunami here. We have a special video today. We're gonna get into it in just a minute, but long story short, an active MONAT distributor hit me up and said, hey, I love what you're doing. Would you like to do an interview? And I'm like, damn sis, yes. The one thing I do want to say before we start, before I call this person, is that first of all, they want to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. And secondly, my goal here is education and understanding. So with that being said, we're going to keep this as respectful as possible. I don't want to see any mean hate comments or anything of the like. Sorry, I just realized Sparrow's unicorn's on the floor and it's annoying. Anyway, yeah, we're all about respect here. We are better than bullying and being mean. A lot of you guys did send me questions also. I asked on Instagram yesterday what kind of things you would like to know from an active MONAT distributor. So I did compile a lot of the questions. Definitely kept the respectful ones. There were a few that were a little disrespectful. So again, respect. If you asked a question and it's not in here, I probably just thought either A, she couldn't answer it, or B, it just wasn't right to ask. So anyway, okay, so without further ado, let's give Miss Thing a call.
Hey.
Hi. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, sis. First of all, I desperately need you to tell the story about how you found me.
Basically what happened was I'm part of a big group chat and they sent like a screenshot of your story saying about your video where you snuck into the compliance call. They were like, everybody just go block her or like unfollow her or whatever. Most of the time they say block her. I'm always curious because I'm like, why am I blocking somebody? So I would like started looking at you and I was like, oh, she just doesn't like MLM. What's the problem?
I love
I
it.
don't get it. Like, I don't understand the point of completely shutting someone out just because they disagree with you.
Oh, I totally feel you on that too. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this interview. It's very rare that I come across someone like you who is involved on the opposite side and actually wants to have a conversation. I'm like, this is like life-changing, so.
Yeah, I always love to do this. I'm the same way with religion. Like I was raised as an atheist, but I'm very open to talking to anybody about their religion.
Girl, I feel you. Same thing, except I was raised the exact opposite. But anyway, so after finding me, what made you want to reach out to me in the first place?
Well, I didn't even watch the compliance call video. I ended up watching some of your other videos, your anti-MLM videos about, oh, it was the meme pages that I started looking at.
Okay, like the MONAT ones.
Yeah, and like the Arbonne or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was Arbonne. And I don't know, they were just making me laugh, but you weren't really being mean, you know? You were just like, I really don't think you're that harsh. I think you just like, you say what comes to your mind.
Exactly. Thank you. You read me so well, sis. All right. Would you say that any of it had anything to do to like spite your upline? Were you bitter at all?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit bitter, but not my direct upline.
Okay.
The girl right above her.
Is she the one who was like, go block this girl?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
My direct upline has like literally nothing to, like, we've basically completely isolated ourselves from the rest of it because we just don't like that kind of a culture, and we're just basically running it at a small scale instead of trying to be like top influencer on Instagram. I just don't,
Yeah.
that's not what I want.
Yeah. So I feel like you probably know then that within the anti-MLM community, MONAT kind of has one of the worst, if not the worst, reputations for the distributors just being catty and horrible, and I think that's why we kind of pick on them a lot more. Would you say that that's accurate?
Oh girl, I don't blame you. Me and my upline, my direct upline, we talk about it all the time.
All right, so I want to know a little bit about your story, about how you were approached to join MONAT. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So I actually approached someone else. Well, actually, someone I know personally. They're one of my super close friends, and I was actually a VIP, so I was using the products for like a month or two before I joined as a market partner. What really got me is that she wasn't doing it to be like a big influencer or anything. Her goal was to be able to stay at home with her baby. And like that was literally it, and it made me really happy when she said that she could now stay at home with her kid and be able to afford like new toys and stuff for her. It was like that actual like genuine human connection, not that oh my god, I want to be a millionaire.
Had you ever been like given a recruitment or sales pitch from another MLM before, or any company, or was MONAT your
Yes.
first? Yeah.
Amway
Oh god.
has been after me like 2 or 3 years now.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, to be fair, Amway's after everybody, so.
I've gotten hit up by at least 3 different people from Amway, like
Wow.
once a year.
That's wild.
There's one person that constantly hits me up at least once a year. It's worse, I think, with Amway because they have your friends and like people that you don't know. They literally reach out to you. Or I think the first way that I got contacted by Amway is someone called me and I answered and I said, "Who's this?" They said, "Are you this person's friend?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What? Like, this is so ridiculous. Why are you? Like, who are you?"
That's gross. But anyway, back to MONAT. So you approached your friend first. Was there any kind of recruitment pitch that she gave you, or did you just kind of say, "Hey, I want to join," and that was it?
I just said, "Hey, I want to join," and she said, "Okay."
So you would say that you weren't really manipulated at all into joining. You weren't lied to.
No, not at all. Well, I think that her direct upline was manipulative and lies.
What would you ultimately say was your reason for joining, especially over other companies like Amway?
Oh, good God. Because one, I had like an actual genuine human connection within the business, and I saw that it could actually do something. With any of the other companies, I'd never seen anybody in it and them being successful or happy in any way, shape, or form with it. I just heard from them randomly.
Yeah.
So this one, I just felt like I could connect with a lot more. Plus, I was already using the products. So
Gotcha. What were your expectations going into it? So, I mean, obviously you had already used the products before. You said you were a VIP, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you already knew the products. Aside from like the human connection you had with your upline, what was it that you were like, instead of being a VIP, I want to be a MONAT distributor?
Well, I had been working at an Ulta at the time, and I hated it there, absolutely despised it. It was the most toxic work environment that I've ever been a part of. And I saw that my friend was making just as much money sitting on her ass at home as I was standing for
Right.
7 hours in heels.
Working retail and yeah, all that.
Working, yeah. So I was like, I could either sell things standing up in heels all day, or I could sit on my ass.
Right. Would you say that your expectations going into it were met or have been met yet, or do you think there's potential for them to be met later?
I think they were definitely met at the beginning. Recently, I've just been so busy with finals and stuff that I haven't been working pretty much at all. So obviously right now it's not like doing anything for me.
Gotcha.
But to be honest, if I had been working at Ulta, I would have literally no way to make income.
Can you tell me about like the training that they give you when you sign on?
There's a bunch of training videos in like the back office.
Right.
And they're like, the really cringy videos, like when you start a new job,
Uh-huh.
it'd be like those stupid animated things and it's ugly.
Uh-huh.
But then there's also like a lot of what I actually learned from is videos from like my director on Facebook and Zoom calls and stuff like that, and really just practice. So I don't even focus really on like selling. I focus more on like learning to understand products and recommend the correct products for people and fully understand what I'm doing before I attempt to relay that to someone else.
So after all that, then you would consider yourself to be pretty knowledgeable about like hair and skincare in general?
I know that I was already very intelligible about skincare, but now I do find myself pretty intelligible about
Did you have any like prior training? Is it just from Ulta that you feel like you knew a lot?
Well, Ulta and the fact that I've had a severe skincare addiction since I was about 14.
There you go. Nice. So if someone came to you and asked you questions regarding hair and skincare, would you be comfortable answering those questions?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of companies like MONAT make really big claims about how much better they are, not only for our bodies, but for the earth. Do they offer any information to you on environmental impact?
They do. It is in the back office. They have like an entire tab on like back in there. There's so many things in there. I haven't actually read it.
Gotcha. Do people talk about that regularly at all?
Not really. I think they mainly just talk about how it's healthier for your body.
But they have all that training there if someone wanted to figure it out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they internally, then they obviously would teach you about their formulas and stuff and all that.
Yep.
What do they say about red clover being used as an ingredient?
So they say that it's used in our capixel, which is to stimulate the hair growth. And they say it's in a small enough dose that technically, unless you drink half a bottle of your shampoo, like literally ingested it into your stomach,
Yeah.
then you, like, even if you were allergic to it, it shouldn't have a reaction.
Gotcha. Do they address claims about red clover causing like hormonal issues in women at all? Because I know there's been studies that say it can cause like miscarriages and stuff like that. Do they address anything like that in the back office?
I haven't seen anything in the back office, but we've had several training calls on like products and stuff like that, and they always talk about that in the training calls.
So personally, you would say that like red clover doesn't concern you personally? Like your opinion is that it's not a dangerous ingredient?
Personally, for me, I don't find it a dangerous ingredient, but I think that if someone finds concerns with it, then they should not use it.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good answer. What would you say is your favorite thing about being with MONAT?
I like being able to work with my friend. Like, that sounds so dumb, but that's what I love about it. Like, I have a shopping addiction, so a discount is nice.
Totally, I'm sure. Now, what don't you like about MONAT?
I don't like the ultra positive culture.
Would you say it's fake?
Oh, 100%.
So if that's all fake, then what is the real shit lying beneath?
I can't even tell you. Some of these girls, like, obviously not all of these girls, most of the girls who have left these group chats and like isolated themselves are like the, sane ones. These girls they're very two-faced. A lot of them are very manipulative, and I don't know if they realize that they're doing it or if they themselves have just been brainwashed.
Since you're a part of a team that kind of like shuns yourself away from stuff like that, are there any like negative or like any kind of negativity coming from the other side about you guys like kind of shutting yourself away in a corner away from them? Like, do they treat you any differently? Do they ignore you? Like
Well, actually, most of us have been removed from all of the chats, and they have no contact with them in the chat anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the first time that we really realized or we were actually starting to realize how like negative the vibes were in there, despite their all positive talk or whatever. And right about then, my friend had like some health issues, and she basically said, like, she told her direct upline, I'm struggling and I just don't really want to talk about it. And she basically left her on red.
Oh my god.
And then removed her from all of the group chats.
Now, obviously, you have a direct relationship with your direct upline, but would you say that in general, like how we always say that the friendships are pretty fake in there, you would say that that's kind of generally the vibe you get?
I think in those bigger group chats, yes. In like smaller, I guess you could call us factions. Not really the case because we all like talk to each other like
All the time.
sisters,
Yeah.
and even like people who are not part of like my like direct team, like my direct uplines team, they come in and talk to us, and we just all kind of collaborate together because the point is to be your own boss, not to just listen to one person. So
It's like being your own boss, but you also are part of a team at the same time.
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's move on to your experience with selling products. Would you say, is it easier or is it harder than you thought it would be?
In some cases, it's more difficult, but I mean, I guess it's about the exactly what I expected because there's always people that are going to be more difficult to sell to, and there's always going to be people that are super gung-ho about buying stuff. There's always going to be people who are shopaholics like me, and then people who just really don't care about their hair or skincare, so they don't want to hear it.
So what would you say is the ideal and proper way to sell to somebody over social media?
Create a relationship with them and don't actually sell to them.
Do you ever cold message anybody?
I did at the beginning, and I quickly realized this is gross. I'm gonna like stop this immediately. Now I never do that. I just kind of like meet new people and just talk to new people.
Well, so when you were cold messaging, what was your criteria for like who to message? How did you know would be like who would be a good lead?
So at first I was looking through like vegan and stuff like that because basically that's what they were, telling us, like go through these tags and, interact with these people. And I would like go through and I'd say some really cringy stuff like, oh my God, I saw that you like vegan beauty. Would you be interested in like some hair care?
Yeah. So would you say that like your approach now is just to maybe just like follow somebody and get to know them by their posts and then maybe strike up a conversation later?
I don't even like worry about striking up a conversation. Like if I like someone, I'll follow them and like their stuff, I'll comment on their stuff. If I don't, I'll just move on.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any like criteria other than like would I actually like to talk to this person? If I don't, then I'm not gonna follow you.
Have you had luck with selling the products though? Would you say that you do make sales?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to ask you how much you make. A lot of people wanted me to ask you that, but I think that's really rude to ask. But do you like track your expenses and stuff like that? Would you say that you are in the green or are you breaking even?
I'm breaking even. I do have a severe shopping addiction, so I can see in the near future that it may go red, but not just because I'm spending it on money, probably because I'm shopping on Etsy and Amazon all day.
Oh yeah, that's me too, girl. I feel you. You said you do use the products. Are they your exclusive hair and skincare?
Yep.
Yeah. So how long have you been using them?
I have been exclusively using my hair since December and skin since January.
I guess I should have asked you this, but how long have you been with MONAT?
January.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because that's all right. Anyway, what do you personally think about the products? Would you say they're the best you've ever used?
I mean, from what I've experienced with my hair, yes, because I've been damaging my hair since I was 13, and this is the best that my hair has ever felt, which is the reason why I feel so passionately about the products.
Yeah, because you have a personal experience with it.
Yeah, but obviously if someone has a negative experience, I'm not going to discredit it.
So before you joined MONAT, did you spend as much as you spend now monthly on hair and skincare?
Oh, I spent way more.
Really?
Yeah, no, I worked at Ulta. I had an addiction. Okay, look, for reference, I was buying Kate Somerville, Origins, Juice Beauty, Clinique, all of these really prestige brands. I had too much skincare that I could literally never use it.
Is MONAT your only form of income now then?
Oh no, I'm with another MLM as well, It's Plexus. I mainly do it just because I really do like the products. They've been, good for my health. But
Yeah.
then I also do some other adult things.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm not judging, girl. You do you. But with your involvement with, now that I know that you're with two MLMs, would you say your involvement with them contributes a lot to your overall income, or is it just kind of? Well, you said you're breaking even, so it can't be that much, right?
Yeah, I'm not, I haven't really been working that one. I've mainly just been doing it for products and anyone that might actually like it, because there's no like VIP kind of program. There's no like an obligation. It's one of those where it's kind of like a link. And
So now, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Have you or anyone in your team ever experienced any hair loss or thinning?
no.
Okay. Have any of your customers experienced any hair loss or hair thinning?
No, I do want to mention that someone in one of the larger group chats did say something about her hair shedding. And they kind of shut it down as quickly as they possibly could. They say they want to keep it positive, but it just sounds very, secretive and cat like, ugh, it's cringy.
Like, oh no, honey, we don't talk about that. Like, it's kind of important. We should talk about it,
Yeah.
So is that how your upline pretty much tells you? Well, not your. Every time I say your upline, let's just say I'm talking about your upline's upline, because it sounds like your upline's upline is kind of generally like you guys share the same mindset. Would you say this? Your upline's upline. Is that how they tell you to kind of address people who ask about this, just to kind of shut it down and not ask questions?
So they don't want it in the main group chats because they say they don't want to scare off the new girls.
Oh, Jesus.
They want to, handle it privately, I guess, which I find absolutely disgusting, because you should know, like, if you were that confident in it, why are you hiding it from the new girls?
Yeah, exactly. So do they address it from the inside, like in the back office? Like, does MONAT's like corporate ever say anything about the whole hair loss stuff, or does everyone kind of just brush it off like it's fake news?
I don't know if they have anything in the back office. I've never really looked through it that thoroughly. I know that I should, but I've spoken to someone else who was a market partner, and she said she had issues with like the sores and like hair loss.
Wow. Okay. Knowing all the things that you know, what's your personal opinion on the hair loss claims?
I think that they could very well be factual. Like, I don't want to discredit anyone's claims, especially after knowing that like a market partner experienced this. They confirmed that it wasn't even an allergy to anything. So there are so many factors. Like, it's I can't say that it's this, that, or the other.
Right.
There's no way to tell exactly what it is, but I'm also not going to invalidate the fact that this happens. If you experience this, just stop using it.
Yeah, I think that's generally a pretty good rule of thumb there. How do you feel about like how they always say, I mean, I feel like personally I experience seeing them always say, oh, it's just a detox period, your hair is going to fall out this way, or like when you see pictures of people holding giant clumps of hair and going, oh, this is normal. Like, how do you feel about that?
Okay, when they're holding those giant clumps of hair like this is normal, like, no.
Right.
Not normal at all.
Thank you.
They either really happened and that's super not normal, or they just pulled the hair out of the drain. That's not a normal amount of hair loss.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, I feel like you see it a lot, though. Like, a lot of people are just like, oh, yeah, it's the detox. And it's like, well, I don't think that's correct.
My understanding of the detox period is that it's, helping get all the nasty stuff out of your like follicles and off of the outer layer of the hair. But that has nothing to do with your hair violently falling out of your scalp.
Right, like alopecia style. Like it.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Yes.
All right. Well, okay, so we addressed the elephant in the room, so that's great. I think your answers were. It's surprising because it really lines up with a lot of the stuff that we've all kind of just been saying. And I feel like when we say these kind of things, well, MLM distributors in general, not just MONAT, they kind of make us out to be the bad guys. How do you feel about the anti-MLM community in general, and especially when we kind of like shove facts in their face and be like, no, look, like you're saying these things and they're wrong. Like, sorry if this question is convoluted, it's just coming out of my brain. But how do you feel about it?
If you want to tell me facts, I'm going to listen to facts. As long as it's respectful, I think it's fine. Like, as long as you're not like yelling at me that I'm a horrible human being and I'm endangering the entirety of the human race. Like, I mean, it's fine. You can express your opinion to me.
I agree. But, I mean, do you think that the anti-MLM community has some, like, ground to stand on?
I mean, of course, like, everyone has grounds to stand on. I am anti-MLM culture.
Yeah.
So I can definitely sympathize with it. And I think that's probably what most people have an issue with.
I think that's the biggest one for sure because, well, but honestly, I think it's because it's the easiest one to pick on. So a lot of people just kind of jump into it. But I mean, I guess that's why, like, on my channel, I like to actually talk about, like, income disclosure statements and, like, you know, the actual facts and stuff beneath the business. So I guess that's a good segue to ask, how do you genuinely feel about MONAT's income disclosure statement?
It made me laugh.
It made you laugh. Why?
They really do say some people just do it for the discount.
Yeah, we hear it all the time.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, some people do just do it for the discount, whatever. That's not everyone.
Right, yeah. There's gotta be a lot of people who sign up expecting to make some kind of income and then they just don't and then say they're in it for the discount as to not embarrass themselves. Like, I don't have any proof that that's what's going on, but it just seems like that has to happen somewhere, right? Like,
Well, I can tell you from personal experience that happens.
So, before you joined MONAT, did you ever see that document?
Oh, LOL, no.
So why do you think it's only made available in the back office?
I am not sure. I wish that it were publicly available because that's one of the reasons that people don't like MLMs is because they act so secretive.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of companies that do publish their income disclosure statements. The only reason that the anti-MLM community has any copies of the MONAT income disclosure statement is because of people who leak it from the back office. Do you have any thoughts about, like, well, why does this company do it and ours doesn't?
You know, that's a great question. I wish I had an answer to it.
It's all good.
If I could ask somebody to give me an answer to it, I would ask them.
In my brain, when I see companies doing that, I'm just thinking, oh, they don't want people to see the truth, really. They don't want people to see the numbers, so they're just hiding it. Would you say that might be an accurate reason, or do you think there's something else?
I think it very well, it could be, but honestly, I can't confirm or deny, but it's definitely a possibility.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so how do you feel about the false claim that MONAT has won every lawsuit? Have you heard people making that claim?
I love that they say that they won it.
Yeah.
Because it was dismissed.
I guess there's probably a lot of people who are going to watch this video and don't really know what we're talking about, but this refers to, there were some people on social media that MONAT tried to sue for defamation, and the plaintiffs tried to get an injunction against MONAT, and that would essentially make them unable to sue the people who were talking shit about them, but the judge ruled against the injunction. However, there's like a bunch of class action lawsuits that are either still in litigation or have yet to be handled, or they're being handled outside of court. So MONAT hasn't actually won any of these, and there's no real history of them winning any of them, so they're not likely to. So you also understand that when people say that's kind of just bullshit, right?
100%. I don't pride most of these girls on their high IQs.
Nice. We've established that your team is a pretty respectful team, but have you ever seen anyone and I think I already know the answer to this based on our conversation so far, but have you ever seen anyone be untruthful about what being a VIP entails, or like signing them up as a distributor when they only wanted to be a VIP?
Oh, yes.
They do that? Like, that's a legit thing.
What normally happens is it's not explained well enough to them how to go about the sale at the beginning. And I don't think, like, because I was already a VIP, I already knew all of the ins and outs of it and how to become a market partner from being a VIP and all of this information. But a lot of the new girls don't know this, and the only way they learn is from making a mistake.
Which is fine, you know, like, I feel like I've learned my biggest life lessons by making mistakes, and it sucks. Like, no one wants to admit they make mistakes, but would you say that that comes from a lack of training then?
I think it comes from a lack of like attention to detail during onboarding. They don't like prioritize the right things. They tell you they want you to watch the videos in the back office. It's called Market Partner Academy. Those don't immediately tell you all the ins and outs of being a VIP, being a market partner. So when I train people, I send them a list of videos and I tell them which ones to watch first, which ones will tell them exactly what a VIP is, what an MP is, how to enroll them, and what have you.
So do you have a downline?
I do.
How many people do you have in your downline?
Currently, I have 2. I'm not someone who works on recruiting.
Right. You just kind of let them come to you.
Yeah, like if they want to do it, they want to do it. I'll leave it open.
Yeah. So you don't feel like you have to like lie or manipulate or anything weird to get people to join. It's kind of like they already have the interest just by watching you or whatever, and they come to you and you go, okay.
Yeah, or like we'll be having a conversation and they say something that I genuinely think like this could help them, and I just mention it. If they say I want more info, I keep going. If they say nah, I keep it moving.
What do you know about distributors buying followers?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, apparently it's a thing. My next question was going to be, do you know anyone within MONAT who has done this? But I don't know how proven it's been, but it's like one of those things where you go to someone's profile and they have like 20,000 followers, and then you look at their pictures that they post and they have like 40 likes. It's like, where is your interaction, you know? So I think maybe it might just be assumed, because I don't really know how you can totally prove that, but that's usually a pretty big sign of someone buying followers. And I think with MONAT, they're one of the bigger ones that people accuse of doing that. So you don't know anyone who's personally done that?
No, but I got a few people that wouldn't be surprised.
Would you say that your involvement with MONAT has affected any of your personal relationships, either positively or negatively?
I think it's affected most of my relationships positively, and the ones that it's impacted negatively, I think it's something that needed to happen. Like something negative needed to happen. It's now a positive because it was a negative, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like they were like a toxic person in your life and you needed them out anyway.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you'd say overwhelmingly, for the most part, it's just been kind of positive.
Yeah, mainly for my mental health.
What about your mental health? Do you think was affected positively?
At the time when I started, I felt very isolated. I was very far away from people that I had always been around, and it was the first time, so it was really like scary, and it was one of the worst times of my life anyway. Yeah. So when I started this and I had this like excitement between me and my friend, and we were talking all the time, and you know, we were thriving off of each other's energy, that's really what helped me. And even though the positivity talk is real fake,
yeah,
the stuff that they say about like, you know, mindset overall is true. They just don't, you know, I don't think they do it right.
They don't utilize it the right way.
They're not utilizing it, but they have the right quotes.
So you would say that like camaraderie was definitely a big factor in playing into a positive role in your life.
Yes.
Like obviously the real comrades, not the fake bitches. How has COVID affected your business? Has it affected the way you do things at all, or how many sales you're making, or?
Well, even now, especially, I am not doing anything, I'm not advertising recruitment anything at all. When this all started, there were so many people saying this is the perfect time.
Right.
And that just, I cannot.
You agree that that's like really, really gross.
Yeah, that is like so unethical.
Yeah.
For some people, it is the right time, but do not go prey on people who need that money for something else.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, I can see the whole, like, the virus has created an opportunity, but it's like, it's not a good opportunity. Like, it's an opportunity for you to prey on people and benefit it while other people are suffering, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's gross.
Yeah, and like, I mean, there's so many people that do it and like say things like that in a better way, like entertainers like who do like paid shows, or like drag queens are doing like paid live shows. It's like $5 for a ticket, and it's just like you're supporting people who would otherwise not have anything. Like these people work off of tips, so it's like charity. They have this opportunity to do this online and make money from it online, but they're not manipulating people.
Exactly. I think that's the big determining factor because, I mean, obviously we have, legitimate, like, nice people like you. And then there's people who are literally just in it to make a quick buck, and they'll do anything to get there. So it's kind of refreshing to hear you say, like, yeah, that's horrible. Besides MONAT, what is your dream job? Are you pursuing it, and why or why not?
Ooh, I want to be a cosmetic chemist.
Ooh, so like formulating stuff?
Yep.
That's legit. Are you pursuing it?
I am. That's another reason that I really wanted to get involved, because I like learning about ingredients and stuff like that. And I saw that they had a lot of stuff like that. And I felt like it was a really good step towards a lab.
Yeah. So, obviously their back office, you said, does have a lot of information about that. So would you say that's been a pretty good resource for you personally?
I think it's been a really good resource learning what ingredients and like what type of chemicals are common in cosmetics, and like what direction I should take my career, like my schooling in, basically, to specialize in it. Like, should I go more organic or inorganic?
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I know I said that was my last question, but I just thought of another one. If you had anything to say to any active market partners who are watching this and probably going like, oh, how dare you, how dare you go on her channel, what would you say to those people?
Try to be respectful. Like, try to be understanding that people can have views that are not perfectly in sync with you, and it is completely valid for them to not like something. And just don't try to invalidate it. Don't hate on people, like, from either side. No one needs to be hating on anyone for their opinions. I just think if you're here, be open-minded.
Yeah, and I would say, at least if you're going to have an opinion, be informed on it. Know why you hold the opinion that you have. Like, have a reason that you are that way. Not just like, well, whatever, and then just like...
and run away.
Yeah, run away and just like, you're a hater, Like, yeah. If you're able to defend it in any logical way anyway, then, like, what's the problem,
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the big deal, man?
I'll debate all day. I love to debate and argue, but I've been invested. I'm going to say, like, you got me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. I mean, I think all of us do. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I think just, like, if there's anyone out there that is, like, if they're scared to leave it just because the culture and like the negativity of it, and you're like scared that you're gonna get hate from all these girls, like, don't worry about it. If that's what you want to do, do it. Like the point of this is to make you happy, not to make you miserable.
I think that's very well said and beautiful. Well, hey, thanks for reaching out to me. I think this was a very productive discussion. I think it's a discussion that needs to be had between any sides in anything, honestly,
Yeah.
from a respectful point of view. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that, you know, two people on either side can still agree on a lot of different things. But yeah, thank you for reaching out to me in the first place. This is really cool, and you're really sweet and kind, and I like you a lot.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Also, I kind of want your merch.
Oh. Now that would be silly, wouldn't it?
No, because I'm about to get like a hoodie that says Dream Dealer, and then if I had your like making waves or make waves, whatever it is, that would be hilarious.
Just don't let any of your upline know. That would be funny though. Like if you ever ended up leaving MONAT, just send like a direct message to that upline and be like, remember that girl that you told me to block?
Remember that video that you guys found where there was a MONAT representative? That was me.
That was me, bitches. Peace. That's the ultimate fuck you. But I'm not encouraging you to leave because you seem happy. So, but you know, in the future, if you ever do, just to spite them, that'd be funny.
When I finally, you know, get my dream job and I'm like out of there, I don't need it anymore.
I would be interested to see if she like immediately sees that video and posts it into your group chat and goes, oh my god, look at what someone did, and you'll just be in the corner just like hee hee hee.
Since you posted that on your story, I've been waiting to see if anyone's gonna put it in the group chat and be like, oh my god.
Well, there's 500,000 MONAT distributors, so I mean, it could be anyone, but well, hey, thanks for talking to me, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Me too.
Bye. Well, guys, that was fun. That was a sweet little experience. She is sweet as pie, isn't she? I think this has actually been a very educational moment that I think we all need to kind of step back and look at about understanding each other, not just with MLMs and anti-MLM, with everything. If someone has a legitimate reason for being the way they are, hear them out, dude. Whether or not that reason is fucking batshit crazy, or if it's as simple as, well, I know my upline and she just really wants to be successful enough to buy her baby new toys. And it doesn't change the fact that, I mean, personally, when I hear that, because I was preyed on that way, and that's how I got into it, so when I hear that, I still feel sympathy for that mother who got roped in because of that, like, because I've been there. Again, I just want to remind everyone, please keep your comments respectful of this person, because damn, she really didn't have to do any of this, and I think it was a very eye-opening conversation. Let's thank my patrons. The biggest thank yous in the whole wide world go to MK, Michelle Matthews, Irene Nordid, Amanda McMahon, Corey Allison, Diane McIntyre, Maria Burchett, Molly Wasilewski, Whitney Gregory, Katrina Rosemerick, Elizabeth Wyatt, Sarah Hennemuth, Jackie Waple, Daniel Urena, Jenny Ruby, Rachel Elliott, Oren, April Lindblom, Bobby, Ashley Nichols, Tuesday the 13th, Justin Kelsey, E. Higgins, Muir Family of 7, Savannah Kirkoskis, Maddie, Brianna Coulter, Boris Geller, Meredith Nakata, Rachel McHenry, Desiree Lopez, Matt Douglas, Molly Bresson, Vandis Closet, Kim Cartwright, JP Regina Schaefer, Maddie Darley, Kelly Creffield, and Real Fly Realize, and of course to the rest of you wonderful, wonderful people. And even if you're not a patron of mine, thank you for being here, thank you for being you, thank you for watching this whole video. I hope that we all had a moment together, didn't we? Despite where you stand on the spectrum of MLM versus anti-MLM, I think we all need to listen to each other. Keep making waves, babes, and I'll smell you guys later. Mommy Tsunami out.